Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and I think the Pokemon Company is a mix between glorious brilliance and sometimes just not having the right timing. So I'm going to discuss both of those today because this nice article from Bulbapedia shows that we're going to be getting some Pokemon merchandise starting late May. Also, this is kind of one of the faults of Pokemon, that why are you releasing school supplies, because all these things are mostly school supply oriented, at the end of the school season. Like, school is over at May. Everyone's gonna be getting on summer break, and sure, you can get it for the next start of the year, but why have all these school supplies you're not going to use over summer? This is one of those bad timing ideas. But at the same time, Pokemon is brilliant because they know how to play us like fiddles. Look at the news update for Ruby and Sapphire. I think that Ruby and Sapphire has become so hyped, and Pokemon knows it, that they know exactly how to strike and make it work in their favor. So, what have we gotten so far? In the last week, we've gotten 2 videos. One that's an announcement that just has the covers with the unofficial cover art for one. And it's just a minute of them going new adventure, new world, the same thing they say all the time. Then the second video we got was about 30 seconds long and just showed Groudon and Kyogre rising up from the sea. And people lost their minds over this. I feel that Ruby and Sapphire so far has been overhyped. And the Pokemon Company knows how to take advantage of that because you can see their timing. That they know that Pokemon's starting to drop off. X and Y has been out for a couple months now. Everyone's beaten the game. Everyone's logged several hundred hours. And, I'm not going to say I'm bored with the game, but I'm not playing it as avidly daily. I'll pick it up every other day. I'll work on my team. But right now, I'm very content with the team I have. I'm very content with my battling. And I'm just kind of waiting for the next big thing I can go and jump around with. I hop in at a tournament every once in a while. I do some battles. And that's kind of it. I'm not, engrossed by the game anymore. So what other way to pique everyone that's involved with Pokemon's interest than just going, hey, Ruby Sapphire Remake, you guys have been asking for this since Soul Silver, pretty much. You guys have been waiting years for this remake. Beep, small little teaser, minute 30 total in the last week, and everyone has lost their mind over this, that, hundreds and thousands and millions of views have been dropped on all these news videos on YouTube. A lot of people are going and just really, like I said, losing their mind. Everyone's like, oh my god, greatest thing ever, Hoenn confirmed, fan art left and right. Everyone's making all these over-exaggerated reactions, I feel, because honestly, it's a big thing, but I don't think it's that big, especially with what Pokemon's given us, and I think they know. If you look at the last trailer when they have Groudon and Kyogre rising out of the sea, that's it. They know that's all they had to give us. They know that's all they needed, and they just scored a ton of money and views and publicity for that. That everyone's doing their work for them, and they know if they can space all the news information correctly, it's going to be huge. And it already is fairly huge. But this is where another problem comes in, is that there's an over-publicity. That the second there's one drop of news, 100 people go and rush to the video. There's probably already over 1,000 X and Y, or not X and Y, Ruby and Sapphire Remake news videos. People are stealing the trailers, uploading it to their channel for their own views, for their own money, for their own publicity. And it's just all this madness, and I feel that's starting to really overhype the game. That what they've given us isn't enough to justify all these things while still being awesome. I'm still excited for this game, but we still don't know anything about it. Everything that's there's not really many official sources telling us what's going on. That there's just a couple things, and people are already dedicating their entire channels to this. The game is, what is it, 6 months away? Yeah, a little over 6 months away, and everyone's already treating it like we have all the news now, and it's weird, but Pokemon knows how to handle this. They know that people are going to rip the trailers. They know that people are going to try to steal the news for their own publicity. And that's why people were streaming directly from Japan when they were showing the trailer live on Japan TV. People are streaming that onto their channels. God, I hope their channels got removed or taken down or flagged or something for that, because that's just one copyright infringement. But Pokemon expected this to happen. So at the same time it was being showed in Japan, they were uploading the video to all the other countries, Europe was getting it, America was getting it at the same time. So they know that people are going to do this. They know people are overhyping this, and they're still playing it very well, which is why I can find their marketing brilliant at times. And that's why I want to see the merchandising succeed. I want to see the McDonald's kids meal toys skyrocket. I want those things to be sold out, and McDonald's not to have a clue of what to do, because it's yo, Pokemon's so big, we're like out of toys forever now. And then that might be, hey, people want these toys. People want merchandising. I want toys. I want merchandising. But then you go and look at these backpacks and stuff, and it's like, this isn't what I want. This isn't what a massive amount of people want to a degree. Like, sure, it's awesome to see kids. You know, I had a 3-ring binder back in the day of the first generation Pokemon thing. I had like Pikachu jumping up and down with Pokemon logo. I think I even had Pokemon backpack. I definitely had the pencil case. I definitely had Pokemon erasers and all that, and pencil toppers. That's awesome. Like, I can see this generation getting into it. One, I don't like the timing because May. Who's going to buy school supplies when school's over? It might make it look bad. Like, sure, these sales might spike, but I feel like if you did the hype, you know, right in late July, early August, Pokemon toys. Well, that's when the parents are going to be buying Pokemon stuff, and that's what's going to be fresh in the mind. Like, oh my god, this stuff's new. Mommy. Just begging, get me a Pikachu pencil, please. One of those things. That if it's done that way, I feel that the hype could be better, and this is going to be a flop. Like, this isn't going to sell well until for a couple months. That when school starts picking up, yeah, these will look good, but I think that it might make people that are looking for marketing in Pokemon just be a little off-put, like, oh, this stuff's not selling. Or it could be different. It could be that this stuff sells in the middle of summer, and then it looks even better. I just don't see that happening, unfortunately, just because it doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. But then another thing is, I want real Pokemon toys. Like, if I go to an anime con, and I see all these figures and toys and exclusives from Japan, and I go and drop $100 at a con for these Japanese toys, America doesn't care. The Pokemon Company International doesn't care. They don't know what's going on. The only person that cares is the vendor because I'm filling their pockets. But they need to get these really awesome toys into Toys R Us. They need to get these really awesome merchandising opportunities into the stores. Like, if they just had a huge rack of all these large size Pokemon plushes that you find at Pokemon centers, that you find at anime conventions and events and stuff, if they had those, I would go down to Toys R Us and buy them as long as they weren't grossly overpriced. That's another problem is I can get the same figure at a con for $5, and then Toys R Us, Walmart, they go and mark it up for $7. So I mean, the marketing needs to be there properly, and they need to have the right stuff, because if I'm going to a con spending $100 almost every couple months for Pokemon stuff, that could be the same thing for regular stores. That could be the same thing that's actually going directly to the Pokemon Company, to the people making the toys. But instead, it's going to the people in Japan. So the Japan sales are looking good off of my expenses when I want to see these things in my stores, in my local area. And that brings another problem, is that there's a lot of weird toys right now that, like, Beyblade, Dagadar, Ben 10, Yu-Gi-Oh! All these things that aren't as popular as Pokemon are getting more merchandising opportunities to try to become the next Pokemon. I've worked stock at Toys R Us, and it's just a weird thing to see Pokemon have a third, if not a quarter of an aisle, and then Ben 10 has the rest of the aisle, and both of them aren't really selling. And that if something new comes in, the Pokemon aisle is generally the one that gets shrunken down because, one, no one's buying it, because I honestly think that the American Pokemon toys we're getting are total crap. We have the mini plushes, cool. I'll buy a Fennekin plush. I'll buy the Pokeballs. I'll buy the plush stuff. But we're getting all these weird battle launchers, and it's not the best of the best, the coolest of the stuff from Japan. That we're not getting a lot of the exclusive figures. It's like, I don't want a plush or a figure of some Pokemon I think is stupid, that a lot of people think is stupid. But at the same time, you're not getting the cool things. I went out and bought a Dunsparce plush at a con, and I spent $20 on it, and I was okay with that. If they had that Dunsparce plush in the store, I would have bought it. But I'm trying to remember what other silly plushes I've seen at Toys R Us. Did I see a Trubbish plush? Did I see Trubbish figures? Did I see, like, all these silly figures that no one wants to buy? I think so. But at the same time, it's like, we're not getting the right ones. I feel that they're just thinking, like, oh, it's Pokemon, we're going to throw it out there. If it doesn't sell, we're not going to ask for more orders. When really, they need to, like, pull people. They need to understand the popular opinion. Like, if you look at these backpacks and stuff, it's generic. You have Yveltal, you have Xerneas, you have the starters and Pikachu. Starters and Pikachu, Yveltal, Xerneas. It's all the same thing. You don't have anything that makes it special. That I can't get a backpack that has different Pokemon on it. I can't get a Greninja backpack as opposed to a Delphox backpack. Like, if you had individual ones and then you just had smaller runs of each, those could probably be a lot more successful, because if I don't like these Pokemon, I'm not going to buy it. But if I want a Greninja backpack, I'll buy that Greninja backpack, and I might even pay a little more for it. And then that's where your identity shows. You know, back when they had the Team Froakie, Team Chespin, Team Fennekin, when they had that whole thing, they should have had merchandising for that, Buy a card and figure of that Pokemon. Show your support for your team. Like, if they play that up, then that carries over the school. That carries over everywhere. That if I could have gotten, like, a Team Froakie that has the whole evolutionary Froakie chain for a DS case, I would have bought that. You stroll around in school, you stroll around at events, Team Froakie. They need to really push this merchandising. They just can't be like, herp derp, we're going to throw a Pikachu on it, slap the Pokemon logo, and then throw it out there and hope it sells. No, if you want things to sell and you want Pokemon to come back, you need to go big for it. So that's just my little talk about Pokemon merchandising. I think that there's a lot of potential here. That 6th gen is the biggest in a long time. That 5th gen kind of flopped. 4th gen was on its way out. 3rd gen was starting to drop. 2nd gen and 1st gen were huge. And I feel like if you play the 6th gen right and play 7th gen right, Pokemon can be that international hit again. Everyone will be playing it again, I feel. That, kids these days are picking it up. God, I feel old. I'm a 90s kid and I'm like, kids these days, and they're not understanding of Pokemon. But at the same time, it's like, it can be big again. Like, everyone knows that Pokemon's established. Everyone's still heard of Pokemon. If you can actually market it right and you can get it to every kid and every kid wants to play it again, we could have some really awesome stuff. And I would love it. I just feel right now with the way that they're doing things, they don't have the Saturday morning cartoons. They're not, Pokemon's Saturday morning still, but they're not playing it up. It's not this whole event every week. It's not like you can go and enter a contest for Pokemon like you used to. That, like with the internet marketing and TV marketing, it's not there. I feel like if it was really big, really not as mainstream and trying to be open again, and they just dropped everything to push Pokemon, it could be very successful, and that's what I want to see. So there's a lot of hope with this generation. Pokemon's coming back for sure. 5th generation I'm one of those Gen 1ers. I didn't like 5th generation. 4th generation just kind of didn't shine. A lot of people around me, it's like, this didn't hit. It didn't land with the kids because people weren't talking about Pokemon. But now it's back. This game killed it. This whole generation has been killing it so far. I just want to see them coast with that. I don't want to see them let themselves down marketing-wise. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, talking about how Pokemon, they know what they're doing. They just need to go big. They need to go for broke, I feel, with this. That the opportunity is there to just smash. Nintendo's failing on the Wii U and 3DS. Keep smashing Pokemon. I know it's like the fallback and people are mad. It's like, well, if Nintendo's having a bad day, they just go and make a Pokemon game. Because everyone wants a Pokemon game. You give me Pokemon Snap, I will buy a Wii U tomorrow if there is a Pokemon Snap title coming out for the Wii U. I'm not even kidding. I will go out and do that if Pokemon Snap is confirmed. I will go out, buy the Wii U tomorrow, pick up a game, and then have that game hold me over until I get my Pokemon Snap. Keep making Pokemon titles. Keep making Pokemon merchandise. I want it. Everyone else out there wants it. I know a lot of people that will go and do what I'm doing. And I would love to see Pokemon stay big. I would love to see Pokemon, my childhood, my passion, be a huge success again. And what the crap we're getting right now isn't cutting it, honestly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Long discussion. Hope you guys have a nice day as well before I get off on another tangent.